Okay, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Space and Rocket Review. You two girls, tell your friends, Space and Rocket Review. And it's Ladies' Night here in EJSA Mission Control. Tell your friends. Now, what's going on, everybody? It's the Space and Rocket Review. It's July 8th, 2026. I am EJ. I'm the only one that does this. How you doing? Okay, I got a lot of space news links here today. Let's start moving links over here. Let's get to it. Okay, how's everybody doing? Orange whip, orange whip, 3 orange whips. Okay. Got to get 1 or 2 more things here, and then we are ready to go. Give me 1 moment. Got a couple more things here. And then we should be ready to go. How are you? Okay. I think we're good. So if you're watching Twitch, that's cool, but you've already seen this. But today, it's coming from NSF. This is where we're starting. 15 years ago today, the last shuttle flight, Atlantis, for STS-135. This probably has music in it, and it's probably going to get whacked, but it's all right.
We're ready to go.
We'll just watch it without it. Hey, Tatum, what's going on? I can't believe it's been that long. Ground umbilical carrier plate separation. Oh, hello. That's awesome. What a freaking monster, dude. Ooh, now I want to fly mine. Pins. Home from work soaking in some AC. Good for you. Yeah, shuttle was beast, dude. Should have kept flying it. That's awesome. Look at that. That's pretty good. Burb. Should have never stopped development of Block 2 shuttles. Yeah. I personally think the Block 2 shuttle was a death trap, but that's just me. Dude. Hello. All right. You know what? You know what? I want to watch the ascent again. We're doing it again. We're doing it again. I don't care.
Handoff to Atlantis' computers has occurred.
25 seconds.
Solid rocket booster nozzle steering check and work.
20.
Firing chain is armed.
15.
Go for main engine start. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff. The final liftoff of Atlantis on the shoulders of the space shuttle. America will continue the dream.
Roger roll, Atlantis. Houston now controlling the flight of Atlantis. The space shuttle spreads its wings one final time for the start of a sentimental journey into history. 24 seconds into the flight, roll program complete. Atlantis now heads down, wings level on the proper alignment for its 8.5-minute ride to orbit. 4.5 million pounds of hardware and humans taking aim on the International Space Station. 40 seconds into the flight, the three liquid fuel main engines throttling back to 72% of rated performance in the bucket, reducing stress on the shuttle as it goes transonic for the final time.
It's so good. It's
Engines
so
revving
good.
up, standing by for the start of the flight. Atlantis,
I agree, Nate.
at throttle up, no action, DPDT.
Forward throttle up, no action on DPD.
The call from Capcom Barry
monster.
Wilmore and transducer, instrumentation only, no action required.
What a monster.
Atlantis now 15 miles in altitude, already 16 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center, 1 minute 40 seconds into the flight. Atlantis flexing its muscles one final time.
Is this a new
Atlantis
rocket?
traveling almost 2,600 miles an hour, 21 miles in altitude, 24 miles downrange. Standing by for solid rocket booster separation.
Click. So good.
Booster officer
It's
confirms
so good.
staging a good
It's
solid rocket
so
booster
good.
separation. Guidance now converging. The main engine steering the shuttle on a pinpoint path to its preliminary orbit. 2 minutes, 20 seconds into the flight. Atlantis already traveling 3,200 miles an hour, 35 miles in altitude, 50 miles downrange. The propulsion officer reports the orbital maneuvering system engines have ignited. Atlantis kicking on its afterburners for 1 minute, 23 seconds for the final phase of powered flight. Atlantis, 2-engine foul.
2-engine transatlantic abort.
That call from Capcom.
It's a single pane day, so in the event of contingency, you're in plane plus 230 on the ecal page. No comm VIs when you're ready to copy.
Okay, in plane plus 230, go ahead.
Press to ATO, 10.8. Press to MECO, 14.7.
Press ATO 10.8, press the MECO 14.7.
That's a good readback, Atlantis.
Thanks, Roland. 6
Because
month
of the
reset.
slightly
Thank you.
late launch time, Capcom Barry Wilmore reading up to pilot Doug Hurley the updated abort boundaries for Atlantis, which is flying on the singular power of its 3 liquid fuel main engines, draining a half a ton of fuel per second from the shuttle's large fuel tank. 3.5 minutes into the flight, Atlantis traveling 4,200 miles an hour, 54 miles in altitude, already 120 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center.
Dude, what a beast. Just get to the good part.
Space Shuttle's main engines have fallen silent as the shuttle slips into the final chapter of a storied 30-year adventure. Now standing by for external tank separation.
It's so
Atlantis
good,
off
dude.
the tank.
It is so
Commander
good.
Chris Ferguson will be maneuvering Atlantis now into an orientation to enable Sandy Magnus to capture digital still imagery of the external
Atlantis,
fuel
we
tank
just
as
see
it
a
drifts
nominal
away.
MECO. OMS 1 is not required. Your preliminary OMS 2 TIG, 37 minutes.
37 minutes, no open one required, thanks.
Oh, Cleater. Yeah, that's Challenger's body flap. A lot of people know that.
Go at throttle up.
Wow, what's up, man? 16-month resub. How you doing? So, today marks 15 years since the last shuttle flight. Doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but do I miss that thing? Guys, so it's hard. There's been a lot of new space fans since the last shuttle flight. A lot of people got into this with Falcon, with any other commercial space launch vehicles, right? But if you watched Artemis 2 with me, and you saw how special Artemis 2 was, right? That it was cool, right? Very cool. Shuttle mission. Every shuttle mission felt like that. Every shuttle mission felt that cool. I mean, not as cool as Artemis 2, but it was like that. It was something special. And it's just, dude, even to this day, I love the commercial, like commercial stuff like Dragon and Starliner if it does something. But it doesn't compare, dude. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. It's not, I can't explain it. It's not the same, dude. Thanks, Paul. Dude, that thing was a monster. It was so damn cool. You need to build your own shuttle, not the one from the BBC. Did you have to mention Starliner? Yeah. Dude. You love the Artemis 2 stream? Loved it? Yeah, those were fun, man. That was a good time. But yeah. Actually, speaking of Artemis stuff, right here, let's go right here. Check this out. We will segue right into that. You're wondering what's going on with Artemis 3. The left-hand aft assembly solid rocket booster segment for NASA's Space Launch System has arrived at the VAB at Kennedy Space Center. This segment is part of one of two boosters that will provide more than 75% of the rocket's total thrust at launch. Soon, assembly of the rocket will begin as we prepare to send crew aboard Orion to test the rendezvous and docking capabilities needed for future landings. Artemis 3 is starting to get stacked, dudes. Even Inspiration 4 didn't have the same buzz, and they opened the door to Dragon in Space. Polaris Dawn, right? Yeah, exactly. Rob, you were around for the very first shuttle launch. Yeah, man. The shuttle's something else, dude. But yeah, we got Artemis 3 being starting to get stacked. So this would have come from the rotating processing rotation and SRB rotation and processing facility. It's called the RPRSF. It's a building that's here, just outside of the VAB, inside of Complex 39. Let's go down here. We're using Google Earth a lot this morning. So that's the RPRSF right there. It's where the train brings in the train brings in segments, right? And they take them out of their casings, right? And they turn them, they rotate them, turn them up, right? And put them on those pedestals. From there, the SRB casings are usually stored in high bay 4, right here. There's 4 high bays inside of the VAB. High bay 1 is abandoned. Nobody's using it. High bay 2 is where they assemble the SLS core stage. High bay 3 is where they build the SLS rocket and the mobile launcher, right? And then high bay 4 is used for storing SRBs. I thought SRBs were shipped whole. No, they're shipped in segments. These are segmented solid rocket boosters. John, the segments, they have O-rings in between the segments. Yes, those O-rings. Yeah, they're segmented, so it's easier to transport. The reason why is because you're looking right there, you're looking at about 250 tons of SRB segment, give or take. Yes, you heard that right, 250 tons per segment. There's 5 segments on either booster, 10 segments total. How are the SRB segments attached? They use a clevis and O-rings, Electro. So the top of the booster, the top rim of a segment looks like this, and the bottom rim of the segment looks like this. Actually, it's double clevis, so it's like that. They fit together like puzzle pieces, and then you bolt them. There's a through bolt. You bolt them together. Isn't High Bay 1 in shuttle configuration? Yes, it is. Still. There we go, man. See, this still needs some processing. It doesn't have any of this. It's missing a lot of parts, like the aft struts, but that's fine. Whatever, dude. That's good. We're seeing parts inside of the VAB, which is rocket parts inside of the VAB, might I add. So that's pretty cool. Artemis 3 is getting stacked. So while we're down at Kennedy Space Center... the Artemis 2 crew was actually down there. Trying to find it. Here. There we go. So the Artemis 2 crew was down at Kennedy Space Center touring the spacecraft integrity and meeting the teams who helped them leave the Earth. This is basically, yeah, them running through like integrity and stuff, and it's basically the first time they've been back to KSC since they launched. They have Rise, man. And Max, my buddy Max over at NSF took these pictures. Pretty cool. In the words of Reed, this feels like mission complete. Yep. Pretty good. Good stuff, man. So we got it as the Artemis 2 crew closes out their mission. Even though they've been back for a little while, there's still a lot of debrief and whatnot, and tests medical tests and stuff associated with this. It seems like they're at the end, which is pretty cool. And just in time for the first SRB segment to be stacked for Artemis 3. So next crew up, let's go. Pretty cool. All right. So, did we go over Jeremy's retirement? I did on Space News yesterday. Yep. Love the new Mach 39 patches. Yeah. Yeah, I like those too. That's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. How neat is that? That's pretty neat. That's cool, man. And Rise. Obviously Rise. Always Rise. Hey, Bone. Max in space, what's going on? Excuse me. I spoke. So, yeah, that's cool. Mach 39. That indicates, they have patches that indicate, so the astronauts have patches that indicate what, like, stuff they've done. So Vic, Reed has 100 days in space, obviously his name, the Space Organization, and then Mach 39, that's the Orion patch. There's a Mach 25 shuttle patch, and then there's a Mach 25 Dragon patch, too. Reed, on his right shoulder, has the NASA Flight Ops badge and then the Artemis 2 patch. Vic has 100 days in space, and he has the Mach 25 Dragon and the Mach 39 Orion in Expedition 64, which he was a part of with, he launched on Crew 1 with Mike Hopkins. Yeah, I think that was in 2020, I think. And then Reed and Victor have the Navy wings too, Navy wing patch. Christina has the Silver Wings, which is civilian, and she has Flight Ops and Expedition 59. And then I can't see the other patches. Jeremy has Flight Ops, Artemis 2, CSA, RCAF Wings 39, and I can't really make out what those other two patches are, but yeah. Anytime you see an astronaut with dress blues, they usually have patches that denote what they've done. So nobody here has a Mach 25 shuttle because nobody here flew on the space shuttle. The Mach 39 is Orion. Orion B on low Earth orbit. What's funny, though, is that the Artemis 3 crew is going to need a 25 Orion patch, Mach 25 Orion, because the Artemis 3 crew is not going Mach 39 at entry interface. The 39 denotes how fast they went in Mach speed, though, which is a little weird, but whatever. Is that a can of dip? I think it's too big to be dip, dude. Christina probably has more days in space than most of them. Reed did a long-duration space flight flying on a Soyuz in 2014. So, I mean, yeah, Christina's been up there for a while, though. But that's pretty cool, man. Yeah, pretty good stuff. Now, couple of things that I want to share here and there, but here, check this out. This one's coming from Firefly. Firefly reached another mile marker as we prepare for our journey to the moon's far side. The team completed static load testing for our Elytra barrel and dual payload attachment fitting that houses the ESA's lunar pathfinding satellite. This rigorous testing at Rocket Ranch verifies the structures can handle the extreme pressure they'll experience during launch. This achievement means all primary structures have passed acceptance testing for Blue Ghost Mission 2 and are ready to be assembled together. Yeah, exactly. Faxon, that's their speed at entry interface. Yep. Mm-hmm. So there we go. That's the Elytra part of the orbiter. There's a payload actually inside of that thing that rides inside of it, an ESA mission, and then Blue Ghost rides on the top. So it's a modified payload payload adapter, similar to the the Ariane Space SILDA attachment for Ariane 5. I assume the Starliner Mach 25 patch was returned due to manufacturing faults in the embroidery. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it caught on fire. You got me with that one, Gwen. That's pretty funny. That's bad, but it's pretty funny. Yeah, maybe. Does Blue have a rover in there? No, not on Elytra. The ESA has their lunar pathfinding satellite in there. So yeah, that's awesome that they're working on a PAF. Firefly's really showing a lot of flight hardware lately. That's really, really cool. They actually got the contract. If you guys didn't see Space News the other day, Firefly got the contract to build the aeroshell for the SR-1 Skyfall, SR-1 Freedom Skyfall mission in 2028, which is a Martian entry vehicle. So they were building the back shell and the heat shield for Skyfall. Skyfall is a mission that's going to be delivered to Mars with a nuclear electric propulsion system called SR-1 Freedom. SR-1 Freedom is basically the gateway's power and propulsion element that's been heavily hot-rodded and hooked up to a nuclear reactor. The idea is that the nuke can generate crazy amounts of electricity, and SR-1 Freedom will have, quite frankly, an insane amount of Delta V. Enough to deliver 3 Ingenuity class helicopters to the surface of Mars to scout out for landing sites. And Firefly got the contract to build the aeroshell, an entry vehicle for that mission, which is actually pretty cool. For these people in overalls to be able to live on the moon, infrastructure is needed. And so far, there are no signs of excavators, dump trucks, and tons of fertilizer for growing food and producing oxygen happily flying there to make the base work. Well, Dad, I'm going to go ahead and say that you probably don't know what the Commercial Lunar Payload Services Program is. It's called CLPS for short, CLPS. Look that up. That's basically a NASA program to do exactly what you're talking about. And it's been talked about pretty in depth. Now, has any of it happened yet? No, it hasn't happened yet, but the plan has been talked to pretty damn in depth for what rovers are going to go where, what infrastructure is going to go where, and who's working on it. It's pretty well documented from NASA. If you want the plan, just look up the Commercial Lunar Payload Services and the Moon Base program. Yeah, pretty easy to see that there is at least a plan. I'll take a plan, dude. That's fine. A plan is better than nothing. Dons, what are you asking? With more LEO capability, do you think we will switch to low Earth orbit AWACS using less wedge tails? I don't know. You guys use a bunch of wedge tails, don't you? You guys used wedge tails before we did, even though it's our design. I don't think so. Dons, if you really want my honest to God opinion, I don't believe in redundant avenues of communication. Like, I don't believe in obsolete, redundant avenues of communication for the warfighter. I think that's really stupid. Does it really cost that much more to just keep flying a wedge tail around than it costs to maintain a satellite network? Why keep the wedge tails flying? Is it that much more expensive? You get good capability, and the wedge tail can provide services that the satellites won't necessarily be able to do, and vice versa, right? When it comes to situational awareness in terms of supporting the warfighter, you really, there's no price on that, right? Like, so yeah, I think they'll still keep flying wedge tails. I think everybody will. Six Ring Simpleton, welcome to Flight Controls. Thanks, man. Thank you for the sub over on, for the subscription over on YouTube. I appreciate you. What are your predictions for the first Florida Starship launch? I predict it'll work, dude. It'll probably be by the end of the year, if I had to guess. I don't believe in redundant, obsolete avenues of communication unless you have something that can do the job better and that's redundant, right? Like, think about it like, commercial crew program in an ideal circumstance, right? You want Starliner and Dragon. Now, personally, I think it just should have been Dragon and Orion, if you really want my honest opinion, but I don't think people are ready for that conversation. I don't think people are ready for that one. But, the defense procurement works a lot like that, dude. You always want to have another plan because no plan survives first contact. That's really... Yeah. I think that's a really good bit of advice. Check Admana's link for the last question. Pentagon plans to track aircraft from orbit with accelerated with new $4 billion SpaceX deal. Like I said, it can be done, but I think that in-flight AWACS is you're never going to fully replace that. I really don't think so. Imagine AWACS capability in the Starlink constellation. Eyes on everything in the air. Yeah, that's what I mean, dude. Yeah, that's a really, really good idea. NATO just committed to buying the Saab GoldenEye instead of the Wedgetail. Wait, they're... They want to buy that instead of the Wedgetail? Dude, it looks like that plane got cordyceps. I'm just saying. I'm sorry, I think the Wedgetail looks better than that. Bro, it looks diseased. It looks diseased! Did AI design that damn tail? Be real. Be real, son. What did you do to that plane? See, or you could have that, where they put a surfboard on top of a 737. Look at that. See how nice that looks? That's pretty. See, that's a pretty plane. It's pretty. See, she's beautiful. Beautiful. Now look, see, that's a nice plane. That's a nice plane. And it can do aerial refueling. But, you know, or you could have that. I'm sure that's nice. Six ring, you got to walk around an EC-121T over the weekend. Cool. It's a decent aircraft, Canadian aircraft with a Swedish radar versus a Australian Boeing. They're not Australian. They're not just... There's the goat. That's the goat right there. It's based off the Bombardier 6000, about 40% made in the UK. Oh, that's nice. Doesn't that look nice? It looks nice. It looks good because it's Australian. I mean, all right, whatever. Yeah, you guys are the only ones that use these things right now. It's basically a 738 with a radar attached to the top. Wedgetail was designed by Australia? Nice. Wait, Boeing Australia? Wait, what? Huh. I didn't know that this was a thing. Why didn't I know this was a thing? Ooh, neato. Yeah, that Ghost Bat just did some evaluation testing with F-15s. Yeah, you know. Yeah, the Ghost Bat, dude. The MQ-28. Those things are, those things are pretty cool. Sad to see no Super Guppy at Oshkosh because of damage. Yeah, Super Guppy isn't going to Oshkosh because it got damaged in winds. Zonku, it looks pretty cool. Yeah, I agree. Let me just put it this way. I wish our boys, 20 years ago over in the sandbox had a couple of these things. I'm just saying. That would have been nice. These things are pretty damn cool. Pretty cool, to say the least. What does it do? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You're worrying. Don't worry about it, dude. It was just engineered by a bunch of Australians that live on a continent that has some of the deadliest animals and things known to man. I'm sure that thing doesn't do anything diabolical at all. I'm sure. Now, can Australia have some of your nice American submarines? I'd give you guys subs, sure. I mean, I'm not in charge of that. Let me just go on the America hotline here. I'll just call someone, Yeah, you should. We'll give you a couple of Virginias. Should be fine. Don't tell nobody, though, okay? They're submarines. They're supposed to be, secret. They need to do something to keep the emus in check. No. That's an XQ-58, or an MQ-58. I don't think... I'm not sure that's the same plane, is it? No, that's the Kratos. That's the MQ-58. But still, though. Jado. That thing is pretty cool, too. Yeah, we like it. Yeah. Just on a trailer. Looks like something you do in KSP. Yes, exactly. It's designed as a force multiplier aircraft capable of flying alongside crewed aircraft for support as part of an integrated system, loyal wingman, including space-based capabilities and performing autonomous missions independently using AO. Why does the fuel look so orange? Solid rocket propellant, baby. Solid rocket propellant. Want to know something funny? The MQ-58 is being made by Shield AI. The company is owned by Hunt's significant other. Yeah. Have you seen America's version? Yeah. The Fury. Yeah, Palmer Lucky is working on something like that. Oh, baby. Hello. I'll admit, that one looks the nicest. I like that. I like it a lot. You flew the RQ-11 back in the day. Now that sort of tech is just your average Mavic. I know, right? Hey, baby. Make it more pointy, then we could talk. It's not pointy enough. Oh. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. 20 by 17. 5,000 pound kilo weight. It's got an FJ44 turbofan. Can go 0.95, service ceiling 50,000 feet. 2 hard points and 2 AIM 120s. Wow. Okay. Like you saying, Enduro has problematic background connections, but the tools they're making are impressive. Yeah, as if any defense contractor is squeaky clean, dude. Come on, let's not play games here. Let's not play games here, man. Right? Like, yeah, Boeing's just an angel, right? Come on now. Come on now. All right, anyway, let's keep going. So this is a tweet coming from Blue. What do they got? Our thrusters team just wrapped up another successful hot fire test campaign for the BT-7, a fully Blue Origin developed thruster, from valves to thrust chamber, capable of pulsed and long duration operation for vehicle attitude control and orbital maneuvering. These latest tests advanced performance across 80 to 120 pounds of thrust configurations. As the BT-7 matures into our first in-house hypergolic bipropellant thruster with applications on the Artemis 3 mission and future launch vehicles. We got sound? No sound. That's the sound it makes in my mind. Did that say for future lunar vehicles? Nice. Yeah, it's interesting that Blue is working on hypergolic, pressure-fed hypergolic RCS. Pressure-fed hypergolic reaction control systems? On with Blue? I like what I see. I like what I see, chat. Guys, to be 100% honest with you. So, all right, let me break it down. What does hypergolic mean? What does that mean? All right, so it's a bipropellant hypergolic thruster, most likely pressure fed. So how these rocket engines work is kind of different than what you see. Like we were watching the shuttle a second ago because it's the 15-year anniversary of STS-135. Like if I pull that up, right, you know, these engines are not hypergolic. So, you know, the sparkers come on to purge off hydrogen and the engines kind of spool up. They spool up and then they get, when the Mach disk forms, right? That's when they're kind of up to full power when you see the disks. See the 3 of them? It's called a Mach disk. It's because your propellants, the gases are coming out extremely fast out of there and they collapse in on themselves in lower parts of the altitude, lower parts of the atmosphere. That's what that is. It's called plume under expansion. Well, it's not necessarily under expansion. Under expansion has to do with flow separation inside of the nozzle. Sorry, it's been a while. But see how these engines took like a second to spool. Hypergolic thrusters do not do that. So how a hypergolic thruster works, a pressure-fed bipropellant hypergol thruster, is you have like 2 helium tanks, right? And then you have a fuel and an oxidizer tank, and then you have the rocket engine, and then at the top of the rocket engine, you have 2 essentially fuel injectors. It's just an electronically actuated solenoid or valve that opens and closes whenever you send an electrical signal to it, and it shoots the fuel into the rocket engine. Now, why the helium tank? The helium tanks pressurize the fuel and oxidizer tanks and force fuel and oxidizer into the lines to the injectors at a very high pressure, right? They're using it as a back pressuring. It's called a pressure-fed system. Some pressure-fed rockets are the simplest around. Now, on top of that, like I said, hypergolic. The fuel and oxidizer that a hypergolic system uses is usually some form of hydrazine and some form of nitrogen tetroxide. So monomethylhydrazine or unsymmetrical dimethylhydrazine and nitrogen tetroxide or dinitrogen tetroxide, which is basically the same thing. If those sound like ridiculous forever chemicals, yes, they are. But the thing is, when they hit each other, they explode. If you have monomethylhydrazine and nitrogen tetroxide in a combustion chamber of a rocket engine and they combine, when they chemically combine, they combust, which is actually super cool. The other thing about NTO and MMH is that it doesn't boil off. It is stable at pretty much any temperature because it's some crazy forever chemical, right? So if you have a pressure-fed hypergolic system on a spacecraft, it's good for something that's going to be on a long duration mission, like to the moon, for instance. Orion's thrusters were pressure-fed hypergolic. The thrusters that were on the service module on the Artemis 2 mission that would move Orion around, those are all hypergolic. They're all pressure-fed hypergols. Now, I have always said that is a good idea to use pressure-fed hypergols. At least when we're going back to the moon. Now, why? Why would you do that? Well, I think that's a good idea because that's what Apollo did, and that, you know, you might want to take a page out of their book, considering the Apollo program landed on the moon 6 times. Probably has, I don't know. You should probably do what works before you try to figure out a new way, right? Like, up until this point, Blue Moon, as far as I could tell, was using some type of cryogenic system, right? They were using cryogenic propellants. Which, could you have a pressure-fed cryogenic rocket engine? Yes, of course you could. But unlike hypergolic propellants, cryogenic propellants, because they have to be so cold, especially with liquid hydrogen, which is what Blue is using, is very subjective to boil off. It's sitting up there in the sunlight, and that sun can increase the temperature on your liquid hydrogen and make it basically evaporate. It turns to gas, and you can't use that. So there's a shelf life on... There's basically a shelf life on cryogenic propellants. Hypergols don't have any shelf life. They can sit up there for decades. They'll be fine. They're not going to decompose. They'll just sit there. As long as you don't blow a leak, you're fine. Right? It's very interesting to me that Blue's come out with a bipropellant hypergolic reaction control system thruster called the BT-7. That's very interesting to me that they would, you know, be designing one of these, because as far as I could tell, Blue was using cryogenic reaction control systems. Now, this thruster is not going to land you on the moon. It's a tiny thruster. It's maybe about this big. What these thrusters are designed to do is turn the spacecraft. They're maneuvering thrusters to change the orientation of the vehicle. Very useful for when you're going to try and land on the moon. That leaves me to think, like, is Blue Moon's lander going to use hypergolic reaction control systems and then cryogenic main propulsion systems? Some interesting questions to ask here. NTO, nitrogen tetroxide, November Tango Oscar. Hey, predominant. Also, non-hypergol mixtures might have issues when it comes to pulse width modulation. I mean, this thing looks just fine. You see there's 2 valves back there, and they're just opening and closing. It's very interesting that Blue would come out and say that they're using a pressure-fed hypergolic thing, a pressure-fed hypergolic thruster. I'm wondering if maybe they have a hypergolic landing engine lying around somewhere that they're working on that they haven't told us about. The BE-7 is their landing engine, and as far as I can tell, that's using hydrogen. It's hydrolox. So that's very interesting that Blue is at least pursuing, to the point where they have test hardware, that working test hardware, a hypergolic thruster here. That's actually a big deal. With applications on the Artemis 3 mission and future vehicles. Huh. Hey, S, what's going on? BT7. Oh, I don't know, Elvis. Yeah. That literally just looks like standard con-flat flanges for scientific vacuum systems. It might be. Maybe they want to vacuum test it. Wait, where would the pressure come from in the flight hardware? Helium tank space. Possibly methane oxygen small thrusters are probably hard to make anywhere near as reliable as hypergulls. NASA may say they want something they can trust a bit more. My argument is that, yeah, of course. NASA's always wanted a hypergull lander. You do what you do. Like, guys, you do what you know works, right? You want to land back on the moon, use a hypergolic system. At least to some extent. All right? That's what works. That's what works. You should probably pick up where you left off. Just saying. That's very cool that they're pursuing that. I'm wondering, like, what are they cooking up for the lander? Hypergolic thrusters, you know, these things aren't going to go wrong. It only goes wrong if you're flying Starliner, in which case it goes wrong because you didn't test it. Turns out when you don't test your thrusters, they don't work, even if it's a simple system. Just saying. Do you think that small lift launches are still worth it with ride shares? No. Ooh, burn. Yeah, burning the nozzle from the inside out. Yes, burn. That's the whole idea. They got too hot. I don't know. Was I not clear about that? Wonder if you could pressurize the hypergolic system from the cryogenic boil off. I would not be putting hydrogen and oxygen into an NTO or an MMH tank, Ordon. I would not do that. They're reactive. Helium is the right thing to use because helium's pretty inert and it can tank a lot of heat before it becomes a problem. Anyway, very interesting that Blue is working on that. Now, I have another thing coming from Dave Limp that you guys are probably going to want to see. Check this out. This is going to make some conversations in the YouTube comments. First of all, hi, if you're watching the YouTube bot, I appreciate you. Thank you. I read all your comments every day. Well, I'm taking my morning dump. Really wish I did not say that out loud, but whatever. Whatever. I do read the comments, so yeah, I appreciate you guys. This will make the YouTube comments go crazy. Check this out. I don't have anything from Venus. Dave Limp posted this. The launch plate for Slick 36. Well, this is the launch deck, not the plate. The plate's still in the flame trench right there. They have a bunch of cranes lifting the thing up and riding it. Oh my goodness, that's cool. Dude. That's pretty neat. Oh, look, cranes. Nah, these cranes are dumb. People that operate them are probably dumb too, Billy. Just saying. So you read the VOD comments, but not the live comments. I see how it is. I can't read the live comments because people keep saying dumb things and I keep timing them out. How many tons is that? Well, Dave said it's 4 million pounds. Or no. The cranes are positioned to help lift almost 4 million pound launch bridge and the 2 million pound launch table out of our flame trench and onto self-propelled modular transporters. Last night, the launch bridge was moved. The launch table is up next. Enjoy the crane ballet. Dude. That's actually crazy. This is all the name calling today. Shut up. I mean, hi. Feels a bit silly to put a block of concrete in the trench. Who signed off on that? Yeah,
Go at throttle up.
yeah, I know. It's so weird. Hey, Storm. Looks like work will get me home in time to relax with the Space and Rocket Review. Also, obligatory funny number. 68 plus 1 months resub. That thing is pretty heavy. They have 3 lattice cranes moving that. 3 lattice cranes with mast and derricks. So each one of these cranes, the idea of reusing it seems questionable to me, but I'm no engineer. Yeah, I don't know why they keep saying, oh yeah, we're gonna reuse this. The truth of the matter is, Creeper, is that this thing, two red. The rigging is attached. The blue and white crane and the 2 red cranes are moving the table. That other crane over there is for the tower. The reality of the situation is that they gotta inspect it. They have to inspect it. Off topic, but do you have an Xbox or PS5 to play GTA 6 on stream when it comes out? No. No, I don't. I'm not 100% sure I want to do that. I'll probably end up buying it, but yeah. Don't be Orion. They're gonna have to look over everything, dude, but if he's saying it's okay, I mean, this is just a hunk of metal. It should be fine. Wait for PC, then bring back Hunt the Streamer. I don't know, dudes. I don't want to talk about GTA 6 too much, but GTA 6 sold out on pre-orders of a game that's only available for digital download. First of all, why are people pre-ordering a digital game? And second of all, why the hell did they sell out of said pre-orders? What? I'll just wait until the game comes out and then I'll figure out what I want to do. That was a satire post? Man, I hope so. Stop all the downloading. Help computer. Getting tossed like that could have damaged the steel structure. No, I'm talking about the crane and being wrong. What? Man, that would be nice if that was a satire post. Now I'm going to have to go look. But anyway. We'll see. Either way, guys, I am very... I'll give credit where credit is due. I am very, very impressed with Blue's transparency here for their whole pad rebuilding operation. Literally, we're getting like daily updates from Dave. You know what, man? Do I still have my doubts that they'll fly in 6 months? Maybe. I said next year. Like, even before they said 6 months, I said it'd probably be not this year. It'd probably be early next year. I said 6 to 12, or no, 12 to 18. Like, and even then I got ridiculed for saying that on a flame trench. Like, everyone's like, no, right? Dude, I personally think it's going to be next year, but honestly, I really appreciate the transparency here. Not everybody has the balls to show their blown up freaking pad getting taken apart and repaired. Like, there's not many people that do this. So, you know, give credit where credit is due. Now, with that being said, let's pick apart this stuff. I want to look around. I feel like the flame trench is always you versus everybody. Well, it wouldn't be fun if we all agreed on stuff and sat there and just jerked each other's chains for like 3 hours, right? Like, screw that, man. No. Not many people's launch pads have blown up, to be fair. Touche. The thing that annoyed me with Blue is them saying the tank farm is great and survived. Yeah. They also said the tower didn't need to be taken. The tower doesn't need to be taken down, and it absolutely does. No structural engineer is going to sign off on a repair right there. That's not how that works. Yeah, the tower does need to be taken apart, but you could fix this. This is not... You could fix that. Lester from NYC. Dude, that's scary. That building in the Pfizer building in New York is... I don't know if you guys seen that. The 21st floor on the Pfizer building looks like that. It looks like this. Here, just real quick before we dig into that, I'll show you. I don't know if you guys seen this in New York. Check this footage out. This is on the 21st floor of the old Pfizer building that's getting remodeled. You know, we're not structural engineers, but structural engineering is part of rocket science. You tell me if this is okay. That's... I would immediately get out of this building. Like, immediately. That's not... That's cracked steel. I would be running. I would be running for the stairs, man. I'm in danger. That's... So, with this particular building, guys, they were renovating it from commercial to a residential. They were making it into apartments. It's the old Pfizer building. And they were adding floors to the top. Looks like someone didn't do their structural analysis correctly, because that's not great. It's like the video before the collapse of the Hard Rock in New Orleans. Oh, God, don't remind me of that. So, I would not be filming. If I saw that, I'd be like, yep, nope, leaving, getting as far away from this building as I possibly can. How do you even demolish that safely? Just like the tower, man, you're gonna have to take the whole damn thing apart, dude. Look at this. Holy shit. I would not be near that building at all, dude. That is like inches from death. Oh my God. Bro, are you freaking nuts? How did you get this picture? The city official says that it's stable. Oh yeah, no, she's good. It's not going anywhere. Welding crews went and reinforced it, if I recall correctly. That's not going to fix anything. That's not going to fix nothing. The steel cracked. Like, that's not going to help at all. If the city official had to work out of that building, I'm sure it'd be suggesting otherwise. That's... So, guys, in structure, right, with buildings and structure, if you see the windows bowing out like that, see how there's the beam. See how the windows look like they're bent like this? Run. Run. Windows should not be bending. If windows are bending, you've lost structural integrity. That's really bad. Dude, holy crap. Look at the reflections. See how the reflections of the buildings, they're all bent. That's bad. That's really, really bad. Yeah, and look at the floor. Dude, I'll be honest with you, you're very lucky that didn't collapse. That is straight up by the grace of God right there. That is nuts. And that's why you do structural analysis. Because that's ridiculous, man. Is it going to have to be torn down? I don't know. I don't know what this thing is going to do. Not the grace of God, grace of trusses. Yeah. Dude, that is sketch. They were flying drones inside of the building. Yeah, I would, because I would not be walking in this. I wouldn't even be near this thing. Check this new image. Oh, this is B1M. I know this account. New York City's Department of Buildings has released a new image showing the emergency works to stabilize the 37-story tower at 235 East 42nd. Yeah. Holy sh... Bro, that's... I love how they used a bunch of sticks to stick weld these together. Brother. Dude. So you'll just watch the same YouTube accounts when you're not streaming? Yeah, pretty much. I hate it. I hate it so much, Fernand. Dude, that is... If I walked into this construction site and I saw that, I'd be like, I would run. I wouldn't even say nothing. I'd just be like, nope, 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 nope. Bye-bye. Dude, that pillar. I'm tired, boss. Dude, that's so bad. Oh my goodness. I just I have no words. That is really bad. Yeah, when steel looks like Jell-O, something is not right. That's just... Anyway. Back to Blues Tower. See what I mean? That's why I said when I saw that right there, I'm like, nope, you're taking that apart. That's not getting fixed like that. Because the reason why you're not doing that is because the whole tower is now jacked on one side, right? Because there's a big chunk missing from one side, right? So that whole tower, it doesn't look like it, but it's doing this. Just like that New York City skyscraper. The tower is bending. I don't need some insider information to know that. It's definitely doing this. It might not be enough for us to see it, but you're putting strain on the backside of the tower because that post is not attached anymore. So the whole tower, if you take away this post, the whole tower is going to do this. Just a little bit. Just a smidge. Right? The whole tower is going to go to the right. I'll bet you up at the top of the tower, you're probably seeing a good foot of deflection. Right? You can't fix that. You're not gonna jack the tower back to be perfectly straight and then fix the beam. That's not how. Just take the thing apart. Just take it apart. you have to modify it anyway to launch New Glenn using umbilicals on the tower structure. So just take it apart. That's how I knew, like, right when I saw that, I'm like, no, you're not reusing that. It's got to be taken apart if you want to reuse it. Like, no structural engineer is going to sign off on a repair here. Even if you like cut it here, and put in a perfectly straight piece right here, the whole structure is like this. All you're doing is just that beam that you put in that's perfectly straight. If you cut that all out, all that's doing is just holding the building in a stressed position. So the building, that tower will act like it's being blown by the wind basically all the time. Yeah, that's why you don't do that. What's up, Ian? Hey, I watched through the earlier abandoned rail exploration segment, and I'm so glad I'm not the only one who spent hours on Google Earth looking at abandoned right-of-ways in towns that I've lived in. Makes me nostalgic for a time I was never alive for. I recommend checking out the abandoned lines at Vandenberg and Cape Canaveral Space Force Station sometime. You know what, Ian? That's a good idea. Maybe we'll do Vandenberg next. Or Cape Canaveral. Yeah, man. Dude, to be honest with you, I did not really realize how much of the old Colony Railroad still actually exists. Most of it is there. Like, I'd say, like, probably 80% of the old Colony Railroad is still intact. That's pretty cool. I was pretty happy about that. But yeah, man, hell yeah. Dude, did you see that 4014 is almost in Altoona? I need the big boy through the horseshoe curve. I need this. I need it. I need it. I need it for reasons. Okay? Don't worry about why. I need it. You been to horseshoe and it was sick? Hell yeah, man. Joe, you saw it last week? Nice. There will be more, Bill. People seem to be really into it. So, yeah, that's like why you have to take the whole sucker apart. Like, you could reuse all this stuff. This stuff is all true, but you have to de-stress the metal. You got to take it apart. So instead of it being like this, when you take it apart and pick it up, it just goes back to being straight and then restack. Right? As off topic, I'm going to LA this weekend. Any must-visit sites? Los Angeles? What do you mean? Are you asking me for things to do in Los Angeles? The Maze Bank Tower. It's the U.S. Bank Tower, Geeson. Maze Bank is GTA 5. I was gonna say the California Science Center is what pops into my head. You spend time looking around at abandoned coal steel lines in Northeast Pennsylvania. There's a surprising amount left intact. I know that's the joke. Yeah, I know that's the joke. I know that's the joke that you're joking, that I'm joking that you're joking of jokes. Correct, I trust your taste. Okay, if real quick, if I was in Los Angeles, I would go to the California Science Center. I'd go to Hawthorne and see 1019. I'd go to the Port of Long Beach because I'm weird and I like seeing big infrastructure. Port of Long Beach has a lot of that. I would probably see Union Station because I like train stations. The Queen Mary, yeah, the Queen Mary's there. Well, I mean, that's kind of goes with Port of Long Beach. The Iowa is there. Yeah, at Port of Long Beach in San Pedro. They have the USS Iowa. That's pretty sweet. And I don't know about you. I'm not going to LA without cruising the Pacific Coast Highway. At least to Point Magoo and back. Like, that is quite actually the best cruising road in existence in North America, and it's not close. What you're describing is a source of plastic deformation that needs to be removed that generates deflection in the structure. Granted, deflection can occur due to misalignment in assembly, but of course Blue's tower lean is due to an obvious reason. Plastic deformation that needs to be removed. Yeah, the back of this is now under... The back beam of this, Ike, if I'm understanding dynamics correctly, is now under tension. Not great. Not great for steel. I mean, it's not really great for anything, but... Statics. Yes, statics. Not, I said dynamics. Statics. Yes. That's not great. Yeah, this whole sucker has to be taken apart, literally down to the foundation, because this beam is bent pretty much all the way down to there. You got the whole tower needs to come apart, dude. The whole thing. Just like my dick. Your deck? Yeah. There's a lot going on in this one view. Oh, believe me, I see it. I'm sure even the fasteners at the base are overstressed. But yeah, I mean, so you guys know good and well. I've been reading up on metal stress and fatigue and stressed metals and all kinds of stuff like that, and making sure that that's not a thing, right? Because that thing, when you repair this car, because it's a unibody, you got to put it back together. You can't have any stressed metal, because then you'll put the car on the ground and it'll be tilting to one side. We do not want this. That's bad. Metal be like, I'm tired, boss. Metal, the Blue Origin's, the front post on Blue Origin's tower just sits at you and looks like this. You know what I mean? All right, cool. Two engineering classes, statics and then dynamics, because it moved. Yeah. Yeah. What's this predominant?
If you're like me, you find it very hard to keep your dick dry. I left my dick unprotected and it was warped out of shape in no time. I could barely recognise my own dick. Imagine that. Then I discovered Schaefer's New Zealand style dick sealant. The best way to take care of your dick in 3 easy steps. First, wash your dick with soap and water. Then, wait for your dick to dry. Once your dick is clean and dry, paint your dick with Schaefer's dick sealant. I used to be too embarrassed to invite people over to see my dick. But now, my dick's the talk of the town. I even have pictures of my dick. Check out that dick. I want to send this to my secretary. Barbara always loves to receive my dick pics. After all, summertime is all about spending time on your dick. I'll often have 20 to 30 people on my dick at once. That can really wear your dick out, causing dick splinters and discoloration. But with Schaefer's dick sealant, my dick stays a nice golden brown colour. Who wouldn't want a golden dick? I used to never let children anywhere near my dick. My dick was too dangerous for kids to play on. But it seems like every kid in the neighbourhood's been on my dick this summer, and they've all had a good time. My dick's over 70 years old, but it looks brand new. That's part of the reason all my neighbours are jealous of my dick. Isn't that right, Jim?
Yes, you've got a nice dick, okay?
His wife is always on my dick, begging me to know the secret of my perfect dick. If you like Schaefer's dick sealant, check out Schaefer's New Zealand style cock. I had a huge hole in my dick, but I fixed it by jamming some cock in it. You'd be surprised how many things you can fix by jamming cock into them. Have an extra large hole in your dick? Try Schaefer's African style cock. Just go to your local home improvement store and ask for the big black cock. Schaefer's New Zealand style dick sealant. Don't put it on your penis. There's also a helpful number on the back. Hi, I've got a question about my dick. Schaefer's New Zealand...
Okay, all right. All right. It's an old one, but it checks out. Can we go back to the crane stuff, or can we go Yeah, see if you look, the launch deck fell off. It fell down into the hull. The launch deck is now down in the hole, and they're trying to fix it. They have to lift their deck up out of the trench there. I see. Here's them lifting their deck. They needed 3 big cranes with 4 billion pounds of counterweight to lift the launch deck out of the trench. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, see, this is what happens if you don't seal your dick. Are you? No. No, not really. So... Ooh, that's not great. That's a lie, you're not sorry. Yeah. Yeah, see, there's a hole right there. The dick fell into the hull. It fell into the hull, mate. All right, so they moved the launch deck out of there, and they have to get the launch plate. The launch plate has the reaction ring right here. I think it's called that. I don't know what Blue calls that thing. That's where the rocket bolts to the pad with the ring right there. Don't apologize. We're all doing the Beavis and Butthead lap. Okay. Jeez, dude. But this isn't all the movement. If you notice, they have the ties for the crawler cranes go all the way over here. So they're... I don't know. Maybe they're going to move the SPMTs into position here underneath. That looks like an expensive part. That's the launch frame, dude. Yeah, it's large. Man, that thing got messed up. So you see right here where it goes kind of like circularized down. That's supposed to be right there. See that shape? That's supposed to be right here. And this over here, this piece right here is supposed to attach right here. This whole frame, the whole launch deck is supposed to be right here. That's how violent that explosion was. It was enough to take a 4 million pound launch deck and throw it into the trench. I did see that, S-Master. Yes, we talked about that yesterday for Space News. Maybe I'll find you a copy and send it to you. You would enjoy it. Dr. Smith wrote what is called the God Book of Engineering Alloys. Dude, there is a concrete slab right there that goes across. So the other crazy part is, you see these 2 buckles right here? That's where the front of the launch deck is supposed to be. You could see the indents right here, or the launch plate is supposed to be attached right there and there. Actually, in Timmy's video, I can show you. We have permission from Tim. I actually talked to him the other day. We could show bits and pieces of his videos. He was totally cool with it, actually, which is really awesome. And that is a pro gamer move. Soyuz pad's already fixed it, man. Right here. So in this picture, there's Jeff, and then there's the New Glenn Pathfinder right there. See where they're standing? Where they're standing, all right. See that seam right there? That seam in the concrete, right? Oh, not Jeff. Right here. It's over there. You know what I'm talking about. If we go to this picture, that seam is right here. They're walking this way. And you see the railing right there? that railing in the intact pictures, right? If we back it up just a little bit, when they start walking, that scene, it's a nice scene. That's America's scene, okay? The in scene, yeah, it's the pleats. So see the plate and see the buckle mount for the plate right here? I don't know if it's called a buckle. That's that, or what's left of it. The plate is down there. This thing is supposed to be right here. Like I said, if you look at this concrete that's going across the front of the launch deck, it's supposed to be right there. It is not right there. I'm sorry. I've talked about this many times, but I actually can't believe how ridiculous that actually is, that it threw that thing. Like, the explosion was enough. It hit it with enough force to push on this block and slide the launch plate off of its mounts into the flame trench, and then the launch deck off the mounts into the flame trench, and then the plate collapsed. That ring standing up in the video is in the destruction video also. And just a sense of scale here, this is part of the sound suppressor system. See that they're walking next to right here? Look. That's right there. From Time Video. If you want time, find the magazine. Looks, I don't know if it lifted it, man. Maybe. I mean, we know that the rocket fell down into the trench, but that the rocket is attached to. The ring, right there. Yeah. Sarah, you can't park your rocket there? Yeah, I know. They got a ticket. And that whole that ring right there is the one that's attached right here, and this whole damn thing fell down there, which is absolutely insane to me, dude. And the transporter wreck there ain't nothing left of that. The TE, that's gone. So it lifted it, then it lifted the deck and threw it almost 50 feet. Yeah, yeah. Now, like I said, I will give Blue credit. They've made some pretty good progress. They got to get the plate out of there. But there's one of the cranes that they're using to remove segments. That's the Sarens, right? The CC8800. All right, bet for tomorrow's world game. The holes on the left are from the TE puncturing. Yeah. Morocco is favored. Really? I think France is going to win. I think Mbappe is pretty damn unstoppable. But Morocco, hey, man, whatever. Paris will be destroyed either way. So because it landed on it and crushed it, right?
Discovery, go at throttle up.
How much of the U.S. heavy lift? There's a lattice crawler over there, a small one. Over there, like, I see a long reach excavator and a small reach excavator right there. And there's a lot of stuff going on here. There's a telehandler right there. There's another one right there. Paris should be leveled just for a better France. Hey, those are your words, homie, not mine. Goalie down there? Maybe. So these excavators are demolishing the environmental control building because that thing got leveled. And yeah, they got most of the old transporter erector out of there. But rocket science, you weren't kidding. The frickin' water lines, dude. The frickin' water lines. Patos, 24-month resub. Thank you. How much in damage? This pad's pretty messed up. You didn't need to do that article, but I appreciate it. It's true, Axel. I wonder how much of the top 25 mobile cranes by lifting type is locked up in space projects. I'd say probably a good amount. And then there's a water truck just over there too. Guys, once again, I'm skeptical that they're going to launch in December. I really am. But with that all, like I said, with that all being said, I damn sure appreciate that they're showing us all this stuff. It's frankly really cool, and Blue doesn't have to do this. They don't have to show us anything. And historically, they haven't shown us dick. But also, they're showing their launch dick right there. Right there, mate. Look at how big it is. It's 4 million pounds. That's pretty freaking cool, dude. I appreciate the transparency, I must say. We're showing you all stuff because Bezos wants outside investors. I heard about that. Hold on. Blue is, here we go. This is another bit of space news while we're talking about Blue. This is coming from Reuters. Bezos' Blue Origin seeks first outside funding at $130 billion evaluation. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin's looking to tap outside investors for the first time, aiming to raise $10 billion in a funding round that would value the rocket maker at $130 billion before the investment. Coatue Management, a big asset manager, is expected to lead the round with a $4 billion commitment, adding that Bezos is set to contribute an additional $2 billion of his own cash. The report comes as the investor appetite for space companies has surged following SpaceX SPCX. She came around. Ish. IPO last month, which lifted expectations for valuations of privately held aerospace firms. Blue Origin did not immediately respond for requests. Interesting. 10 billion. Relativity news. What's up, Creeper? But yeah, it looks like Jeff wants to get in on some of that venture capital for Blue. What do we got from Relativita? Oh, the rug got already pulled? Yeah. We're proud to have been selected by Space Force Space Systems Command for the National Security NSSL Phase 3 Lane 1. This contract award reflects the progress of the Terranar program and the hard work still ahead. Yeah. Yeah, that's really weird. To be 100% honest with you, I'm kind of with you on that one. I'm kind of with you. Like, I don't really get what's going on there. But, whatever. That comment, it makes no sense to you. Maybe it's Vulcan related. I'm just looking for any other space news around.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey, Leglander, what's up, dude? 18-month resub. So Blue is worth 2.6 times more than Rocket Lab in theory? Something like that, yeah. See the Strato launch tweet? Strato? Oh, what's up? We're headed to the Farnborough International Air Show in 2026, looking forward to connecting with customers and partners to discuss how Stratolaunch is advancing reusable hypersonic flight testing and enabling the next generation of high-speed aerospace innovation. That's Cosmic Girl, guys. It looks like they added a structural pylon on the belly of it to launch their hypersonic test vehicle. They're not using the fifth pylon like what the plane was originally outfitted for. There's one of the test vehicles. Did you catch the Venus Aerospace? No, I didn't. I don't like that Talon's mounted on the bottom. That's really annoying, actually. Yeah, Zonku, I'm kind of with you on that one, dude. Part of me is like, dude, people can get launch contracts. People can get launch contracts and make tons of money, like, without launching anything. I could do that. I can do that. I could do that if I felt like it. I'm like, can you give me some of that internet money? See Ryan Caton's tweet. Ryland Katoon of NASA Spaceflight Now. So they bought a 747 specifically modified to carry a rocket-powered vehicle in the fifth engine pylon, and they mounted tail into the belly instead. Correct. I got a big dick. Yeah, absolutely. It's on the back of my house, mate. Yeah, sure, Cosmolex. What's up? That's funny, though. What is this? This is Skyroot Aerospace. What do we got? Announcing the Vikram 1 Test Flight 1 mission Agaman, India's first private orbital rocket launch. Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota, 450-kilometer orbit, 60-degree inclination, low Earth orbit. Launch window July 12th through August 4th. Vehicles now fully stacked at India's historic first launch pad, FLP. Okay. The countdown to a new chapter in Indian spaceflight begins. One rocket, a billion believers. Huh. Interesting. How much Delta V is earned this way, so to speak? Don't think of it like you're getting extra Delta V out of it, Kirok. You're really not. You're not getting much extra. Think about it like this. A 747 is a very reusable launch pad. No pad turn. Your pad turnaround time is as quick as you can load that thing on there and fly the thing again. And 747s can be turned around very quickly. Think about it like that. Blue Ghost 2 should be exciting to watch. Yeah, actually, speaking of that, that would probably be a good thing to check in on. We haven't watched a rocket launch on here in freaking, seems like weeks. And that's the exact reason why they all launch at 5:30 in the freaking morning. The transporter mission went off over the weekend and it launched at 3 in the morning. How about this? Venus Aerospace. I don't know what this is. Got Venus Aerospace raises $91 million to mature the world's first flight-proven high-thrust RDRE into full propulsion systems. Ooh. How $91 million for a flight-proven RDRE rotating detonation rocket engine. That's pretty cool, man. Are you on the Booster 20 test stream for tomorrow? I'll tell them if wake me. Eat me. What's the specific impulse of a rotating detonation engine? A lot higher, MotoKid. Detonation engines can shoot the exhaust gases out way faster because it's riding a detonation wave, which by definition is going way faster. There's deflagration and there's detonation. Deflagration is what happens with combustion, meaning you have a subsonic pressure wave. Detonation is where enough energy gets released that the pressure wave radiating from the blast is going faster than the speed of sound. If you really want a simple way to understand rocket engine efficiency, the faster it can shoot the gas out the back, the better. I mean, that's not the entirety. Exhaust velocity is not, and it's just a component to calculating specific impulse. You need to take total impulse of fuel and exhaust velocity and do some fun math there and go. But the faster you can shoot gases out the back, generally you're more efficient. If you can do that with less amounts of propellant, the better. So 48, I don't know. I'm not signed up for Booster 20 stuff, but if they need me, I'll be in there. Didn't NASA do some RDRE testing last year? Also, hi, how are you? I'm good, and yes, they did. So that's cool from Venus that they got some funding to do it. But yeah, this is why I haven't covered many rocket launches, because they're all at very weird times. Yeah. But here's one that's not at a weird time. Starship Flight 13 is tentatively on the books for July 15th. This will be Starship's 13th flight using Booster 20 and Ship 40. Launching out of Pad 2, that pad at Boca Chica. We have another Starship mission on the docket here. Now, whether they're going to reuse land or whatever, we don't know exactly what they're going to do with this stuff. What we do know is that it's launching. If I had to guess, this is probably going to be a repeat of Flight 12. They would probably want to do what they were trying to do on Flight 12, but minus, you know, the whole engines blowing up part. Quick facts about the Vikram 1. It does 350 kilograms to LEO and 250 to SSO. It has 3 solid stages and a 4th N204 MMH stage. Keeping it simple, I like it. What do you think they will do to correct the booster flip? I do believe they are firing the upper stage. They're firing the engines on Starship in a way to activate the upper engines first and push on the top of the booster to get it to flip. The notice to airmen for Mexico and the notice to marine traffic dropped today. Yeah. We'll see. Can they go into orbit or not yet? Cirque, Starship could get to orbit. I think that's pretty proven. Are they going to? No. They're not going to do it until they absolutely, beyond a reasonable doubt, can do a deorbit burn. That's why all these Starship missions don't get to orbit. Could Starship get Starship to orbit? Yes, absolutely. Of course it could. Did you see all the fuel that they dumped after the main engine cutoff on Flight 12? Heck, dude, they probably could have shot that thing at the freaking moon. Well, maybe not at the moon, but high Earth orbit, absolutely. So the choice to not get into orbit, not getting into orbit is by choice. They're doing that on purpose because you do not want to strand a 150-ton piece of stainless steel in space. Yeah, you don't want to do that. That's a bad idea. We did that. That would be not a smart thing to do, right? That's why they keep putting them on suborbital trajectories. But yeah, I will, for Flight 13, what I'll probably end up doing is doing NSF coverage in the morning and then coming and covering it here. Do I think she'll go on the first attempt? Maybe. Who knows? Do you have any idea what Rocket Lab wants Iridium for? Spectrum. They want the Spectrum, Tyler. Having an on-orbit satellite constellation is very profitable. Starlink, for instance. Iridium's a good baseline, and then they'll upgrade the tech from there, and they have the rockets to do it. It gives a reason for Neutron to exist, and it gives a reason for all of Rocket Lab's satellite bus manufacturing to exist. Hey, Jake Ronk. Welcome to the flight controllers over on YouTube. Appreciate it, man. looking around just in case there's any more space news. I think we got through most of it. Rocket Lab does work. They do. Actually, how are they doing? RKLB. Oh. Damn, dude. So from the link above about RDREs, an RDE rocket at manifold pressure of 488 psi delivers the same specific impulse as a conventional rocket at a manifold pressure of 3000 psi. Yeah, detonation, man. Are they winning? Yeah, they're doing all right. There are viewers that bought in at IPO, and some of them even bought down here. Seriously. Yeah, some of you guys are doing quite well. $3. Oh. If you bought in at $3, like down here, in March of 2023, say you bought 1,000 shares, it cost you almost $4,000, right? That's a lot of money, dude. Wow. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, Mutter, we led with that, dude. Mm-hmm. I mean, Rock Lab's actually down right now, but dude, it went to 143. Somebody saw it jump to 143 and then cashed out immediately. Let me just see something. If you bought 1,000 shares at 388, yeah, it cost you about $4,000, right? $3,800, right? And then if you sold over here in 2026 at 143 a share, 143. Yeah, you made almost 150 G's. $143,000. Damn, I should have invested. I thought about it, but I didn't want to because I thought it would really be a conflict of interest, you know, reporting the news and whatnot. But I think it's pretty clear with SpaceX that I can do that and not have to worry about it. We told you to. I know, man. I bought SpaceX at 150. I have one share in SpaceX for what it's worth, and I have lost money. I'm down $2. Are you stunned? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I only bought one share for now. I bought in at IPO just for the fun. For the fun of it. That's the fun. You bought 17? Well, good for you. Starver, you're down a couple G's, but you ain't selling. Diamond hands with SpaceX, dude. Like, we're going to have to get through the employees being able to sell their stock, etc., etc. That's going to happen in August and then progressively over the next couple of years. And, yeah. It's going to happen. The stock's going to go down, guys. It's going to go down even more, but also good time to buy. It's like Dudes, this isn't investment advice, but just look at the hardware. Like, there's no way that it's not gonna go down and like not come back up. Like, that's not gonna happen. Like, I really, really don't think so. Don't take stock advice from me. I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, nice, Creation. That's good. I need to day trade more. That's cope? I really don't think it is, dude. I mean, 619, SpaceX is going to have a 100-ton LEO fully reusable system. Even if Starship never ever does anything more than the space shuttle, like going to low Earth orbit and building space stations, the applications there are insane. There are tons of enterprising applications there with just a fully reusable low Earth orbit access system. Like, I really don't think so. It's not cope. It will go back up. Like, there's no way that it won't. Either that or I'm coping. I don't know. Don't take investment advice from me. I don't know what I'm doing. You feeling a bit frustrated by SpaceX, to be honest? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, dudes, any other space news you want to discuss? I think we got through everything for the day. I'm pretty sure I got all of it. We're in July 2026. Starship still hasn't reached orbit. Didn't do any orbital refueling. No ship catch left. Newer version of the booster is back. 3 steps from V2 booster. I think Flight 13 will be a good one, Druxel, to be honest with you. But yeah, I get the frustration for sure. Ship 36 and booster 18 popping didn't help. A dude broke the front door of my building, pulled the fire alarm, and then tried to break into one of the apartments of one of the building's female residents. Instead of running, bear maced the cops. He was caught in the act of trying to break down the door. Oh, jeez. Okay, that's great. Lovely. Did I see you playing Factorio the other day? Yes. The promise of Martian flights before 2030 is gone, IMO. Yeah, I agree with you. Guys, yeah, we've always had this conversation. With SpaceX, I'm kind of bummed that they're doing this whole AI thing. I don't have anything against AI. I really don't. It's not like, it really is just me as a spaceflight fan. I just don't. Let me put it to you like this. Sat bus design doesn't do anything for me. I don't care. I don't care. Oh, great. You go up and deploy satellites. Lovely. That's not the part of spaceflight that I'm into. The part of spaceflight is the part of spaceflight that I'm into is where we send people to another celestial body and put that flag in the ground. That's the part that I like. And SpaceX pivoting to just doing a lot of, like, leaning heavy into sat bus production with Starlinks and the AI-1 sat bus, I understand why they're doing it. It could, and the potential return on an investment, coupled with a fully reusable launch vehicle is well worth your time. I understand it. I understand the play. I know what they're doing. I'm just bored by it. It doesn't do anything for me. Like, but here's the thing. If it does pay off and they do what they want to do with the AI-1 sat bus and data centers in space, etc., then they have the potential to unlock, frankly, insane amounts of money for basically doing whatever they want with Starship. Like, you want to send it to Mars? All right. You want to send it to the moon? Sure. Whatever. Don't be bummed. It's literally an infinite money printer. I'm not bummed. I'm just bored. I understand the play, yes. You don't need to type out a paragraph. I was kind of hoping that me saying that would make it so people wouldn't type out paragraphs in chat telling me not to be bummed by AI. I'm not bummed by AI. I'm bored by it. As a spaceflight commentator. But yeah, I'm just, what is there to talk about? Okay, another Starlink launch. Okay, Starship test flight, that's fine. You know, like. Artemis 2 was awesome. I mean, Drunksall, that's what I'm saying. You know, I mean, you know good and well. I've been a major proponent of NASA being able to do their own thing in space because of this. You know? As a software engineer, I'm extremely excited by it. Yeah, I know. But here's the thing. I'm not. I don't care. It doesn't do anything for me then. Like, I get it. I know it's cool. I'm not saying it's not. It's cool tech. Super useful. But it's not gonna engineer you a damn rocket. You know, that still needs to be done by the old meat bag. You're bored by it too, but it's a catch-22. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I get the payout. I get the end game. If it works and it does, the AI data centers do everything that Elon says it's going to do. Heck, if it even does half of the things that Elon says it's going to do, the SpaceX will have a money printer and they'll be able to build cities on other planets, which kind of a bold move, but I'm bored by it too, but more launches is more better, and AI will lead to more launches. Yeah, sure, absolutely. Notice is coming out for Flight 13. Do you think they'll be able to attempt to catch this flight? Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Well, when I say maybe, let me rephrase that. I want them to catch the booster. Is everybody and their mother typing in chat right now, EJ, no, that's not going to happen. There's no way they're going to do that this flight? Yeah, most likely. I mean, they have been testing those chopsticks a lot on Pad 2 lately, so... Astro would politely disagree. Yeah. I would politely say launch something then. Drugs, I don't know. Since Artemis 3 and Artemis 4 are on the back burner, I work in aerospace. The last launch I watched was Artemis 2. I lost interest in watching them. Oof. The only reason why we don't cover them here, Drunk Souls, is because they're all at 5 in the freaking morning. My life will become unraveled if I'm up till 5 in the morning 3 nights a week. I cannot do that. I could do that when I was 25. I could do that when I was 27. I could do that when I was 30. I'm 38. I can't do that, dude. My life will literally go to hell in a handbasket, and it already did, and it had no help from me for the past couple of months, dude. I can't do that. Yeah, if they feel like they got enough data, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and the safe answer is saying that their flight 13 is just gonna be a repeat of flight 12. That's the safe answer. The cool answer is they'll do a booster catch, or they'll at least attempt, but probably not. Maybe if you double hell, it will be a Una reverse card and go back to normal. I don't know, man. Junksall, I hope they catch the booster since it's a real bottleneck for them because they're sending a couple of boosters to the Cape. It's going to take time to ramp up. I used to go into NSF forums every day after work to see what happened. Now I check my history. Last time I did was last November. Yeah, it feels like we're kind of waiting in the wings, doesn't it? The more I learn about money markets, the more money moves from working class to investor bros, and the stock market is moving away from the real economy into stock trends and hype. Yeah. For quick payouts. Yeah. Which is why I always say, like, we should get back to building things. Like, you notice I'm kind of anal retentive of, like, when we were talking about the big boy the other day, I'm like, dude, we have 7 other big boy locomotives. Fix them. Fix them. People are like, well, you can't do that. Like, shut the hell up. Of course you can. Of course you can fix them. All right? Like, of course you can. Make things. Do cool shit. All right? Make stuff. You should always be making stuff. All right? Investor bros can't make shit. They make nothing. They make button go up and down on a stock market trend. Go learn to weld. How about that? But they're kind of catch in between the tower and the booster like they did with Flight 4. Yeah, that's probably, that's a good point. They tested the landing burn deluge and a normal launch deluge multiple times. Like I said later, the safe answer would be saying that it's probably going to be a repeat of Flight 12. What EJ would argue on Flame Trench, they're going to catch the booster. Is that going to happen? No. I want to believe. The go learn to make something is a conversation I have with your kids that you take to fast food jobs frequently. Make something. Learn how to make something. Because, guys, all right, I don't give out advice like unsolicited, right, unless somebody asks. That's kind of my rule. But also at the same time, I have this sneaking suspicion that people are going to get tired of this. People are going to get tired of clicking button, line go up stuff. I just have a feeling. I don't know. I just have a feeling people are going to get tired of it. I think that my generation, millennials, is going to get tech fatigue. The overstimulation is too much. And you're going to see a snapback for analog technologies, if you really want my honest to God opinion. So learn how to make something. That will be a useful skill. It's a useful skill right now. It'll still be a useful skill in the future. It's going to happen. I mean, yeah, Zonku, we already see the start of it. Like, dude, I already see myself doing it. I go play with carburetors. It's going to get to a point where it's just too much. Kiko Donchev posted, what's that, Drunk Soul? He posted... SpaceX is looking for pad engineers, huh? They get together and just hang out. I know, it makes me happy. Zonku, I was at a get together the other day, and there were kids that were, there were kids that were 10, 20 years younger than me, and they like listening to like Van Halen and going and hanging out and like riding around. They were cruising around in their car. I'm like, there's hope, dude. There's freaking hope. I was talking to this kid that was probably like 25, 26, mechanical engineer. Freaking guy has a mullet and he drives around in a freaking crappy pickup truck. I'm like, hell. Nature is healing. It's great, man. Great. I got my Coleco handheld football, and you were just playing Asteroids. Does that count? Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Till like 25 years old? Oh, damn, nailed it. So Joe Dirt with a mechanical engineering degree. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. No, I talked to a lot of kids that are a lot younger than me. They I'll be 100% real with you. They hate computers. It's pretty bad, dude. They do not like it. Yeah. Cheers to Florida, man. Goalie would have passed in Florida like nobody's business, dude. There you go, Formic. Hell yeah. Yeah, dude. There's a lot of neighborhood kids on the street, and I say kids, they're like 20s. They're like in their 20s, but on the street that I live on, and yeah, I talk to every one of them. They're like, yeah, I don't like that. I like going fishing. I'm like, fishing? I never did that growing up. But I lived in the city. There ain't no lakes around here. I disagree, EJ. Millennials getting tech fatigue isn't going to change corporate middle managers executing the working class for work company profits. I mean, Drew, what I was trying to tell you, what I was trying to say is that I'm very strong in my convictions for a very good reason, because I hate that, dude. I hate that crap just as much as the next guy. I hate people that are penny pinching, bottom dollar focus, no risk, low reward, always taking the safe route. That is the most, I was about to say that's the most un-American thing I've ever heard, but I mean, Drew, I know you're Canadian, so, but you get what I'm trying to say. That's not humans. That's not how we roll. We don't do that. Fortune favors the bold, man. I hate that crap. I've hated that crap for 20 years, man. It's pathetic, gross, and disgusting behavior. How's that? That's what I was trying to get at, man. I didn't mean to dish it out all at once, dude, but there's a reason I cited the big boy. There's a reason why I say fix all the big boys. Not because it's going to be profitable, because it's damn frigging cool. And people seeing those trains drive around is going to make people want to build trains, because trains are cool. Sometimes you need to do something cool, okay? Make cool things. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We could definitely use more trains, always. Are you not into trains? Anyway. All right, guys. We're coming up on coming up on 8 p.m. here. It's kind of crazy how popular typewriters have gotten again. And vinyl, dude. People have vinyl. It's pretty sick. What's for after hours? Oh, I don't know. BF6, yeah, but there's a problem. I suck at Battlefield, dude. I'm terrible at it because so it turns out they changed all the gun mechanics to favor casual players, and now I suck at Battlefield, so... Oops. MSC, it is summer. Nah, I don't want to play MSC. Tell us about the concert. I actually didn't go to it. One of Bree's friends ended up going with her. But I am tired because I did stay up to make sure that Bree got home. So I stayed up last night. I was up till about 2 in the morning. It took a long time to get home from the city. So I'm nursing a little bit of a headache here. Snarf, are you teaching your son how to use 3D printers? Can't wait for it to get started on CNC machines. There you go. Make cool things, dude. Okay, watch this. All right, what is this? Yeah, this is let's see. Let's cap off this with this.
Welcome to the first installment of Battlefield Combat, a series where we take you through our combat philosophy, showcase how it's improving and evolving, and give you a taste of what's coming very soon to the game. Today we're talking gunplay. Every weapon should have notable character. Gunplay should have depth. And infantry combat pacing should create varied types of engagements on every map and mode. Maintaining and improving the depth, character, and pace of gunplay every time we add new content to the game is key. As usual, we always test these changes in labs first to make sure they're resulting in positive, consistent improvements before bringing them over to the live version of the game.
Mastering gunplay comes down to 3 skills: aiming, recoil compensation, and weapon knowledge. Aiming is, of course, a foundational skill for Battlefield, but to master automatic weapons, you'll need to embrace and master a deeper shooting technique. To reward proper technique, we slightly increase bullet deviation after the first shot, making control burst or tap fire even more important for accuracy at longer distances, while keeping full auto viable for close quarters encounters. We've also made recoil more consistent and predictable across all weapons, allowing skilled players to better stay on target.
Thank you.
Combined, these changes reward players who master their shooting technique. We also want long-range engagements to be more interesting, which means ballistics should matter more the further away you are from your target. To this end, we've tuned muzzle velocity and bullet drag to make anticipating the movement of distance targets more important. The final skill required to master gunplay is weapon knowledge, knowing all its strengths and weaknesses so you can optimize its performance for every encounter. This includes understanding the weapon's ideal range and other attributes that give each weapon its own personality. We start by placing weapons in one of several archetypes. These archetypes ensure every weapon category has its own feel in terms of weight and handling. It's why a belt-fed machine gun feels heavy and powerful, while an SMG feels snappy and reactive. Players can further customize each weapon to balance its strengths and weaknesses to fit their playstyle, but only within the limits of its archetype.
Mastering all 3 of these skills can push a weapon's performance beyond its baseline comfort zone and make it viable in most combat situations. This flexibility encourages players to be creative, to find the limits of each and every weapon.
In infantry combat, pacing and weapon balance are heavily influenced by our time to kill, also known as TTK. At close range, TTK for automatic weapons is fast. This is key to allowing players to have a chance when they're outnumbered. Slowing down TTK in these situations would limit opportunities for clutch plays. That said, we've heard your feedback, and we have tuned the amount of damage done to specific parts of the body to further reward precision across all engagement ranges.
Your feedback is invaluable as we work to balance and improve features such as soldier visibility, body damage multiplier changes specifically for long-range fighting, recoil adjustments across a wide range of weapons, and a new network bandwidth priority system to manage critical enemy updates, fixed skip server inputs, and better improved latency for incoming and outgoing damage. For even more details on these changes and our approach to gunplay, you can head on over to the Battlefield website to read an in-depth breakdown.
All these changes will be making the leap from labs into the live game next week, and we can't wait to hear your thoughts. In future State of Combat updates, we'll be taking a deeper look at vehicle play, gadgets, and more. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you on the battlefield.
Should we go? Should we try it? They changed they did screw with the recoil. They screwed with the recoil after when season 3 came out. I knew they did. Like I couldn't hit people. Like I'd go to shoot somebody and the gun would be over here. And I'm just like, all right. Has there been any news of the COPVs washing up in Australia? They're most likely, well, actually, I don't know what they are. Maybe parts of an upper stage or whatever. All right. All right. Fine. We'll play for a little bit. Let's see. Let's see if they fixed it. Can you try the obliteration game mode? I don't know. All right. I'll try it. I'll see if they fixed it. It was fine. To be honest, it was fine before. All I wanted them to do was just tweak LMGs a little bit because I think people toting around LMGs like submachine guns is stupid. And they seem to have fixed that. Let's see. We'll see. Anyway, that's going to do it for the Space and Rocket review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There will be another one tomorrow. Same time, same place. But I'm going to jog the YouTube VOD. If you're on Twitch, just chill here. We'll try to see if patched Battlefield is any good. I will be back. Oh, wait. It's in my project, Navak? Let me see. Oh, that's beautiful. Yes. I love the paint scheme. Navak just put a transmission into his Corvette, and it's the housing and the diff are red, white, and blue. It's French. Now that's sick, man. Hell yeah. Get it done. All right. I'm going to jog the YouTube VOD. Let's go play some Battlefield. Thank you very much for watching. Be right back.